Mr. Godfrey, seconded by Mr. Bagnall, moves that Bill C-474, an act to require the development and implementation of a national sustainable development strategy, reporting of progress against the standard set of environmental indicators, and the appointment of an independent Commissioner of the Environment and Sustainable Development accountable to Parliament, and to adopt specific goals with respect to sustainable development in Canada, and to make consequential amendments to another act, be now read a second time and referred to the Standing Committee on Environment and Sustainable Development. Debate. The Honourable Member for Don Valley West.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and it is with pride and pleasure that I rise to support Bill C and introduce Bill C-474, an act to require the development and implementation of a national sustainable development strategy. Mr. Speaker, last October, the Federal Environment Commissioner tabled a report that criticized the government for having no overall sustainable development strategy, no targets, no standard set of indicators, and no rigorous reporting schedule. In short, no accountability on the environment. The government responded by committing to a year-long study by the same department, Environment Canada, that failed in the first place, and in this time frame we could imagine this going beyond a future election. So the department that failed to get other departments to fulfill their obligations on sustainable development is now being asked to figure out why. The government's response is insufficient, given the growing concern among Canadians for the environment. We have to do better, and we must do it faster, and that is the purpose of the bill I am introducing today at second reading, Bill C-474. Back in 1995, the previous Liberal government responded to the demand for stronger environment policy by introducing major changes to the Auditor General Act that required all federal departments to produce sustainable development strategies every 3 years. By the time the third set of strategies was tabled in 2004, however, it had become clear that they were becoming little more than bureaucratic exercises that were not integrated and that accomplished precious little. As a result, the then Environment Minister, now Leader of the Opposition, was tasked with bringing the strategies together under one coherent umbrella and producing a single national sustainable development strategy by mid-2006, as the Commissioner has documented in his latest report. The hope was that a single overarching strategy would ensure that a clear set of goals and targets, reported regularly, would make government more accountable to Canadians and deliver better results. Unfortunately, the current government allowed the fourth set of departmental strategies to be tabled last year, almost a year after it was elected, with many of the same flaws that existed before. Even the previous Environment Minister of this government expressed her concern, noting, "When you look at the sustainability reports that we have just released, they clearly do not have rigorous reporting. You'll see when you read them, the language is vague, that we just do not have the level of accountability around any commitment to actual results or benchmarking or targets." This is what the previous Minister of the Environment is reported as saying in the Ottawa Citizen of December the 15th, 2006. The current Minister of the Environment's Parliamentary Secretary seconded that, agreeing in the Hill Times, as reported on November the 5th, 2007, that it is critical to have a strategy and crucial that the Conservative government now come up with a sustainable development strategy to ensure departments are held accountable. So we have agreement on both sides of the House about the unsatisfactory nature of the current sustainable development requirements and their reporting. Planning for the next set of departmental strategies will begin in approximately 1 year, but we cannot afford to allow another disjointed bundle of departmental reports to appear in 2 years. We need to fix the framework now, and there is a better way. Canada should take its cue from countries like the United Kingdom and Sweden, which by law require the production of a national sustainable development strategy with clear goals and objective reporting. The results speak for themselves, Mr. Speaker. Both the United Kingdom and Sweden perform much better environmentally than Canada in international comparisons. Canada could be an international leader by adopting a similar legal framework. That is why I am introducing a National Sustainable Development Act in the House of Commons that would usher in a new era of environmental accountability in Canada. The Act would legally require the government to develop and implement a robust national sustainable development strategy for Canada. This strategy would be monitored using a standard set of accepted environmental indicators by a fully independent Commissioner of the Environment and Sustainable Development, reporting directly to Canadians. No smoke, no mirrors, just the straight goods. Before examining this bill in greater detail, I would like to acknowledge as a source of this bill the work of the David Suzuki Foundation. In January 2007, the Foundation published a report toward a national development strategy for Canada, putting Canada on the path to sustainability within a generation. We have worked closely with the Foundation in drafting this bill, and I thank them for their help. I would also like to recognize the work of the Natural Step, an organization formed in Sweden with a significant presence here in Canada, in shaping the sustainable development goals outlined in the bill. 3 of the key principles of the Natural Step underlie our sustainable development goals, and we state them in the bill under 5.1. The Government of Canada accepts the basic principle that, in a sustainable society, nature must not be subject to the systematic increase of A, concentrations of substances extracted from the Earth's crust, B, concentrations of substances produced by society, and C, its degradation by physical means. Those are the principles which we have incorporated in the bill, which we recognize as coming from the Natural Step. The goals themselves, on which these principles are based, are listed in 5, Section 2, from A to F. The Government of Canada therefore adopts the following goals for Canada with respect to sustainable development. A, Canada should become a world leader in 1, living in a sustainable manner and protecting the environment. 2, making efficient and effective use of energy and resources. Number 3, modifying production and consumption patterns to mimic nature's closed-loop cycles, thus dramatically reducing waste and pollution. 4, reducing air pollution and achieving air quality standards necessary to eliminate human health impacts. And 5, exercising good water stewardship by protecting and restoring the quantity and quality of fresh water in Canadian ecosystems. Amongst the goals, the bill goes on to say, B, Canada should move to the forefront of the global clean energy revolution. C, Canadian agriculture should provide nutritious and healthy foods while safeguarding the land, water, and biodiversity. D, Canada should become globally renowned for its leadership in conserving, protecting, and restoring the natural beauty of the nation and the health and diversity of its ecosystem, parks, and wilderness areas. E, Canadian cities should become vibrant, clean, livable, prosperous, safe, and sustainable. And F, Canada should promote sustainability in the developing world